Hello, YouTube! My name is Scott, and I just got around to watching Cobra Kai. Season 2, Episode 2 is called Back in Black, which is pretty appropriate because that is the AC/DC song that plays over the opening montage of Johnny and Miguel getting up in the morning, and also the sequence of Johnny getting his car repainted in Cobra Kai black and yellow. It does telegraph a little bit, but okay. So, the big thing with this episode is basically the difference in teaching styles between Cobra Kai and Miyagi-Do karate. On the one side, you have Daniel, of course, teaching Sam and Robbie. Robbie's got a lot of stuff going on at home because his mom just took off to Cabo with some dude named Rick, who I think Robbie rightfully kicked in the chest when he thought he was breaking into their apartment. Because they took off, and then like a day later, the power went out, because obviously she's not paying her bills. So, on the first day of training, Daniel gets called into work because there's an emergency. Turns out a couple of salesmen have been taken from them by, if not Tom Cole, then someone else who has a dealership, I don't know. And they need to make their quota, which is selling 10 cars by the end of the month. Daniel decides that he's going to squeeze it in a day. And it's a pretty cool montage, actually. Him and Amanda going back and forth with client after client. Daniel has to agree to pose doing a number of crane kicks just to get the cars sold. And they manage to pull it off. And while he's at the dealership, he gets an idea to teach Sam and Robbie the thing he was trying to teach them, which is the wheel technique. Basically getting them to... I want to say fight, but it's not. They're doing a whole sequence that he's trying to get them to do synchronized. Now, on the ground, in a circle of sand, it didn't work, so he went to the backyard where there's a floating table on a little pond. And Sam and Robbie have to stand on it on either side because it has to be perfectly balanced and do their little routine. And that way, if they get it wrong, well, they fall in the water. But they learn that they can feel, each other's movement so they can get it right. And over time, this does work, obviously. Now, this is cut in with Johnny's montage. First of all, Kreese came back the next day, which he didn't expect. He thought it was going to be the day afterwards. Second, the kids are kind of, riding the high of winning the All Valley tournament, thinking they don't really need to do anything important now. So Johnny sets them right the very next day by firstly having them mix a bunch of cement, and then having a friend of his come along with an actual cement mixer. Now here's his idea of training. He says if you don't keep moving, you're going to be like the cement in the mixer, because it's not spinning. It will harden, you'll get stuck. So a select few Cobra Kai students get in the back of that cement mixer, which I thought the entire time was dangerous as all hell, and get it moving by hand. And, it is kind of impressive. It's the way they go back and forth between Daniel teaching and Johnny teaching. You really see the difference in their styles. So after all this, he's hosing the kids down, telling them your parents would be proud if they knew what you did today, but we're not going to tell them, which is a really wise move. Kreese congratulates him and takes him over basically to the mini-mart for a couple of beers. Right after Sam and Robbie are finished training, Sam clues Daniel in on Robbie's living situation. And, Daniel's all ready to have him stay at their house, but Amanda's like, yeah, we can have him here tonight, but, you got to talk to his parents. And if you can't find his mom, he has a dad. So Daniel goes down to Cobra Kai Karate to talk to Johnny, and he sees Kreese. And they came this close to ending the episode without a clip from one of the movies. But they flash back to when Kreese tried to hit Miyagi, and he dodged out of the way, and Kreese punched his way through the window of a car. I don't know exactly why this meant Daniel decided not to talk to Johnny about his son. Maybe because he didn't want him around Kreese, because in his mind, Johnny is bad enough. But it's, clearly setting up for You know what? I'm not going to say that because I was saying last season was setting up for a Johnny and Daniel showdown, and that hasn't happened yet, so maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. Honestly, this one I think was kind of light on more details, so I don't think I missed anything this time. But that's not all. The episode ends with Miguel coming over to Johnny's apartment with some food because his mom doesn't want Johnny to keep eating Slim Jims for breakfast. And while he's there, he sees the old picture of Robbie that's on Johnny's refrigerator. How exactly he figures out it's Robbie, I don't know, because this picture is from at least 8 years previously and doesn't have a name on it. But he picks it up and he says, Robbie Klein? And that's how he figures out that Robbie is Johnny's son. So that's a nice little setup. It's gonna be interesting to see how that plays out. But anyway, that's what I think. What do you guys think? Leave a comment down below, drop a like, share the video around, subscribe if you're so inclined, hit that bell button below for notifications, and until next time, I have been Scott, and this has been, almost did it, Just Got Around to Watching, an offshoot of opinions no one cares about. Everyone has opinions. This one was mine.